can leaders break free from complacency, gain clarity, and purposefully accelerate as an individual and also the organization?
Oftentimes, we think that complacency is laziness or apathy, and it really couldn't be further from the truth.
Chris Robinson, he is the Executive Vice President for Maxwell Leadership Entrepreneurial Solutions.
I know that most people listening right now maybe think, well, complacency really isn't a problem. I'm a high driver, I'm a high achiever. I want to challenge you in that because I actually redefine what complacency means.
He has helped thousands transform their business through sales leadership.
Think about in your role as a leader and you have worked hard. Life is good, you've got it down. Then now we haven't developed that skill in quite some time. We begin to unintentionally drift. Complacency looks like busyness, it feels like comfort, and sounds like excuses.
He is going to be helping us today with something that some of us struggle with. And it's just getting out of the rut of really getting into high gear. I'm going to call it drive into full gear.
Get ready to grow your leadership to the next level with real leadership lessons, inspiring stories, and business insights from the world's best thought leaders. This is Leaders Live Podcast with your fearless host, Erica McKenzie.
Hello, 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 hello. How y'all doing today? Welcome back to another episode of the Leaders Live Podcast. And guess what? Today is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Guess what? We have with us today a very, very special guest. He is going to be helping us today with something that is super, super important that some of us struggle with. And it's just getting out of the rut of really getting into high gear. I'm going to call it drive into full gear. And believe me, we all have those moments. Today, I want to welcome you to another edition of Leaders Life Podcast with our guest, Mr. Chris Robinson. He is the Executive Vice President for Maxwell Leadership Entrepreneurial Solutions. He has helped thousands transform their business through sales leadership, coaching, and he gets to lead all of us at the Maxwell Leadership team. And I can tell you, it is more than an honor and a privilege to be here and to have you on this podcast. Yeah. And today we are going to be diving into some amazing things. And then guess what? You're launching your book. We're going to be talking a lot about that, from drift to drive. It's coming out September 2, it will be hitting stores. But guess what? I'm taking orders from now, okay? I just want you to know. So you don't need to wait. I got the hookup. Okay. So welcome to the podcast, Chris. Yeah. So grateful to have you.
Erica, thank you so much for having me. I always love your enthusiasm and just the way that you just engage in helping people. And so I'm excited to be on with you. I love all the work that you're doing in Jamaica and throughout the islands, and just love how you just add value to people. So thanks for having me today.
Thank you so much. And thanks for, I'm a product of the product, okay? Just saying.
That's right. Yes, you are.
Yes. So today today's episode, we're talking about from drift to drive, building momentum and purpose in leadership. From drift to drive, building momentum and purpose in leadership. And we want to explore in this, like, how can leaders break free from complacency, gain clarity, and purposefully accelerate, both as an individual and also the organization? Because it's great individuals make great teams make great companies. I mean, I preach that every day in every room, right?
Right.
Now, Chris, you have taken your years of experience working with teams, and you've now documented that into what I'm going to call very timely resource for us today, for leaders in organizations. Right. Your new book, From Drift to Drive. Yeah. I want you to just unpack for us some of those valuable lessons. I got a chance to read some of the advanced copy, and I should tell you guys, you need this in your life, and I'm going to make sure you hook up. Chris, your book tackles the silent epidemic of drift.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. We all
Yeah.
drift off, right? Now,
That's
how do
correct.
you personally recognize you were drifting? And what was your wake up moment?
Yeah, well, there's many wake up moments that I've had in life. And so, I'm really trying to address complacency in leadership in individuals' lives inside this book. And I know that most people listening right now maybe think, well, complacency really isn't a problem, Chris. I'm a high driver, I'm a high achiever, and I'm in a leadership position now, and complacency is not my issue. But I want to challenge you in that because in the book, I actually redefine what complacency means. Because
Yes.
oftentimes we think that complacency is laziness or apathy, and it really couldn't be further from the truth. You see, complacency is what I define in the book as a secret place of satisfactory success.
Mm.
So,
Say
those
that again.
a secret
Secret place.
place of satisfactory success. So think about in your role as a leader, we've all had it where we've worked our way to a role inside the organization and you have worked hard. You start off at zero, you've worked yourself up, you're at about an eight in proficiency in everything that you do. Life is good, you've got it down. You do not have to work as hard as you used to have to work in order to develop that skill. And then now we haven't developed that skill in quite some time. We begin to unintentionally drift. And so it's a secret place of satisfactory success because we're saying, well, it's okay. I'm good at that. I don't have to do it. It's almost automatic right now. And if you go back to the original meaning of the word complacency, the original meaning is careless security. Careless security. So complacency looks like busyness, it feels like comfort and sounds like excuses.
Mm.
It looks like busyness. It
Mm.
feels like comfort and it sounds like excuses. So, you know, you're not complacent because you're busy. That's the number one mistake that we make is just because we're busy doesn't mean that we're actually accomplishing anything or that we're moving with intention. We're comfortable. Hey, the bills are paid, the lights are on, food is being made, right? I don't really know if I want to pay the price to work that hard again. And some of you fall into an automatic routine of I work up, I go to work, I come home, I watch TV, I go to bed. And this cycle of life just continues to allow for you to drift intentionally. Or it sounds like excuses. You're looking for change inside the organization, but you say phrases like this. We've done that before. It is what it is, right? That's the way that we do it. And when we see and hear these things of comfort, of excuses, of busyness, we just might be in a drift. And so for me, where I really saw this happen, I mean, it snuck up on me. I was actually in preparation of writing this book, and I began to document some of the ways that complacency settles in. I began to look at myself and go, "Oh my goodness, I think I'm in a drift." I said, "I think I'm in a drift." But what stood out most, Erica, was most notably was I was actually doing an event with John Maxwell in Cambodia. And we went to Cambodia. It was a great event. It was only going to be two speakers on the agenda. John Maxwell, Chris Robinson. Oh my goodness, this is a speaker's day. Now, Erica, think about this. This is John Maxwell, Erica McKenzie, 2,500 people on the other side of the
Woohoo!
planet. Come on, you're excited, right?
Come on now.
The speaker's dream. And we get there. Now, to top it off, Erica, we go to the president of Cambodia's office. I'm sitting inside the office with the president of Cambodia, with John Maxwell, and I'm getting ready to go speak to 2,500 people. Oh my goodness, this was good. What a day. Well, we get inside the room and I get up to do my presentation. Things begin to go wrong. The PowerPoint doesn't work. The interpreter, we're a little choppy in our rhythm together. The slide deck was a wreck because they combined the languages on one slide versus separating all these things. But I overcame them. And
Yes.
I delivered, and at the end of it, I had a line of people, Erica. You've seen lines of people line up for me and say, "Oh,
Yes.
Chris, how great it was that you taught up there." So I get this line of people. They're all saying, "Chris, you did great. You did awesome." And then I go and I sit down with John Maxwell at dinner, and I say, "John, come on, give me some feedback on my talk today. I want to know what I can improve." Well, he gave me a page full of things that I could improve that day.
Oh my
Now,
goodness.
on top
Well
of it,
done.
there was about five other people that were at the table, and somehow they thought it was a brainstorming session. So they start throwing out ideas of stuff that I could do better. And then by the end of it, I got a page full of notes. And at the end of a situation like that, all you can say is thank you, right?
Yeah.
Because we want to be open, we want to be receptive. But then I went back to the room that night and I began to look at all the stuff that they had told me about. And
Right.
Erica, there wasn't a thing on that page that I did not know or that I had not done in the past. And what I realized was that I did not prepare for that presentation the way that I did years prior because of all the experience I've had over the years.
Oh,
Here is my profession. Here is my skill set. Here's what I'm gifted at. I was in a drift.
yes.
It's automatic thinking. It was a secret place of satisfactory success. Now, if you don't have that awakening there, then it's very difficult because if we just let it go by, because had I not had that difficult conversation with John Maxwell and that group of people, I would have just went on to the next one and the next one thinking all is well. But John and these peers that were with me, they were a rumble strip for me that day. They were a rumble strip. And you all have them in the highways there in Jamaica, but here in the U.S., they created that, the rumble strip in the 1950s where, it's on the side of the road. You see the vertical lines, but they cut a little horizontal line into it. So that way, if you drift, you get a little rumble in your seat to
Right.
know that you need to get back on track. And so for me, they were a rumble strip to awaken me from my drift. And for you, I hope that today I'm a rumble strip for you that helps awaken you in the areas of your marriage, your health, your spiritual journey, your career, wherever you might be in that secret place of satisfactory success.
Ooh,
Come on, I
that
want to teach you
hit.
there. I want to teach
Listen,
you that.
as your words leave your lips, I leaders, you got to be connecting with this right now because you've redefined what complacency is. It's the secret place where we are really just thinking our mind's eye that, hey, we got this together when we really
Right,
don't. And
right.
thank you for sharing that powerful story. And I want you to think right now and say, okay, have I drifted? Because maybe I thought to myself that I am successful, which you are in some sense, but you're drifting.
Yeah,
So I really want us to use this as a redefining moment. So thank you for this, for really putting into our awareness, really and truly because our whole mindset shift around what complacency looks like.
yeah,
For me, that's a wake up moment. And
right,
I've seen that personally where you've had some wins, you're achieving some level of success, and you just think you've got this. Hey,
right, yeah,
when we know we have to continually, improve and learn and grow and preparation, which is the key. So, oh my goodness.
yeah,
How do you help somebody who is stuck in this drifting stage and
yeah,
really kind of feeling analysis paralysis?
right.
Because I mean, you shared, and this is on the backstory. You've really shared a 7-step framework
Yeah, sure.
in the book, From Drift to Drive. If you're just joining us, we're talking to Chris Robinson. His new book is out, From Drift to Drive. It's coming to a store near you. I have the hookup. Chris, I really want you to just talk about how can we now help people to get out of that rut? Because
Yeah.
sometimes we're there. Thank
Yep.
you for showing us how we know that we're there. And I hope leaders, please, if you're watching this, please get your Creative View pen, get your Creative View notebook, and use to be taking notes from this because Chris is going to show us now. How do we help to cut
Yeah.
through that?
Yeah. Well, the first step, so the 7-step framework is really how you get through this. And so it's 7 steps, but I'll break it down today because we're short on time to really a 2-step process. And I'm going to give you the 7 steps, but then I'm going to give you the 2 steps. And hey, if you get nothing else today and you only do this, you're going to be able to move forward out of the drift. So the first step is what we call clarity. All right. You cannot have what you cannot see. And any time that you're in a drift, it's because you have a fogginess or a lack of clarity on where it is that you want to go, or what it is that you want to have, or who it is that you want to become. And so the first step is clarity. The second step is gathering. Anytime that we now get clear on what it is that we want, we have to go gather information about what it is that we want to do and how to get there. And so in that particular chapter, I talked to you specifically about how to gather information. But then the third step is filtering, because it's one thing to gather a bunch of information, and a lot of people love that. And Erica, that's where you're talking about people getting to that analysis paralysis and they stop. But in our past, your success used to be dependent on the information that you had access to. If you think about in the early 1900s, certain races, certain ages, certain economic demographics didn't even have, and it was held back from them the ability to read. And then later in the 1900s, the ability to get in college. And so information was dependent upon your success, what information you had access to. Now we have the opposite. Now, with these little things right here in our hands, we've got access to all the information in the world, but we now need to have our success depend on how well we filter information. So in that particular chapter, what I do is I teach you how to filter the useful from the distracting by prioritizing what truly matters. The fourth step is having guidance. There's somebody that's already done what you want to do. There's someone that's already reached a level that you want to reach. And even if they haven't, there's a coach, there is a guide, a mentor that can help you get to where you want to go by helping you see what's inside of you and pulling that out of you. And that's so important. The fifth step is relationships, and that's getting around the right people with the right mindset, moving in the right direction. And that is critical to your success. Most people are held back by relationships that are based off of proximity and history. And oftentimes that can undermine your future and where it is that you want to go. The sixth step is action, and that's where we turn plans into progress by consistently taking action, and we begin to move forward. But then the seventh step is evaluation, and that's where we reflect on our progress through honest self-assessment in order to stay in line and focus with where we want to go. And what that does is that slings you right back into that first step again, because now that you've gone through those 7 steps, it'll take you back with a clearer vision of where it is that you want to go. But for today, we'll teach it in 2 steps. Okay.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
learn a little, do a little. Okay.
Yes.
What do you want? What do we need to learn? What do we need to do? What do we want? What do we need to learn? What do we need to do? And if you do that with anything, you give me any topic here, Erica, any topic that
Yes.
or area that I want to grow,
Yes.
all you got to do is be clear. Then we're going to go gather information. Then we're going
Yes.
to take action on the information. We're going to learn a little bit and do a little bit. If you do that and nothing else today, I promise you, you're going to be further along than you have been in the last 6 months, the last 6 years, in some cases, for many of you.
Oh my God. And you always tell us, get out of the house. We need to go get it done.
That's right. That's right.
I just love this. Chris, listen, oh gosh, I wish we had the whole time, but I know we're going to have so much to deep dive into from drift to drive. Chris, I'm excited about the book.
Yeah.
I'm excited about how it's going to be changing lives. It's already changing mine. Just that wake-up call that you placed in front of me today about just redefining what complacency mean. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is painful. Anywho, Chris, one more question for you. Like you share a moment, you've worked with global teams. And I know one of the biggest thing for me is that you've really helped us to center and to really focus. And even with that, we do get into the drift. And so in chapter 8, you talk about you warn against complacency creeping back in.
Mhm.
What guardrails should we as leaders install just to prevent us from, drifting long term? Like what to combat that? And one of them I can already answer is to make sure that we practice from what's inside from drift to drive on a daily basis.
Right.
But over to you. What would you have to help us as guardrails to prevent us from drifting back into that?
Yeah, it's number one is A, having a clear vision on what it is that you want. 2, Drift often happens in the area where you're having success or that you're good. And so keeping a group of, and then also relationships around you that can help you, can help you keep accountable in those areas for growth. And so I think if you're clear, I think that if you are aware of the areas where you're good, I'm not talking about, hey, go and, get good at your weaknesses. No, I'm not talking about that at all. That drift, that secret place of satisfactory success is oftentimes in something that we're good at,
Mhm.
something that we do well, that we get paid for, that, is a gift in so many cases, but yet it's a gift, but it's also an area of drift. And so we want to make sure that we know those areas. And then three, have relationships around you that will stretch you. You see, if I hadn't had
Chris,
a,
I got a question.
yeah,
I got a question. You just
yeah,
punched somebody in the gut. Why is it that we drift in the areas that we're good at? Why?
right. Because
Like,
it's
is it
good
that we
enough.
just think that we got it all together, so we don't need to? Like, oh, I'm hurting right now.
It's part of that, but then also it's because of the repetition. It's automation without intention. It's
Hmm.
automation without intention. So if you had asked me, well, Chris, well, how much did you practice for a presentation? I would say with pride, oh yeah, I don't need a whole lot to prepare for this. Like I don't need a whole lot to prepare for it, but what that's based off of my years of experience, thousands and thousands of presentations that I've done, that I can actually go off of an overflow and I can bypass the average ear. But here I was sitting down in front of John Maxwell, who has a 1% of a 1% ear that can hear and see things that the average person can't see. And so I was fortunate to have someone at that level to be able to catch me in my awareness, because the masses, the crowd, they didn't catch it. They lined up, said, great job, awesome, patted me on the back, signed some books for them. I mean, the whole shebang. But having someone at a higher level point out that, it shifted everything for me. And so it's automation without intention. So we don't intentionally say, well, I'm not going to practice this or get any better at this. We just think that by doing the thing, we're getting better at doing the thing. And we're not getting better at doing the thing because we're not evaluating the thing.
You're right. And if we're not evaluating the thing, then we're just going to continue doing the thing because, it's just, we're just doing the thing.
Thing,
And the
right.
thing is, we're not having people who are at a higher level
Mm-hmm.
who are in, and I love how you put that, the 1% of the 1%. This is
Yeah.
why it's always so good to have people who are ahead of you a part of your circle so that you are learning from that. And I know you
Right.
dive deep into, oh my goodness, this, I can't wait to get with you with this in the mastermind. I know
I
we're going to
know.
have, listen, this is going to be great. I'm already, listen, we don't have, I can't begin to tell you how this is going to change people's life. It's already changing mine. I hope it's already changing yours as you begin to listen to this podcast. Finally, drift implies forward motion.
Yeah.
No, but leaders in, there's seasons where, there's rest too. How do you balance high drive and avoid like burnout? I don't believe in burnout really. I just
Mhm.
think if you're doing what you love, but people do believe that, but
Right.
it's not
Right.
for me too. But tell me, how do you balance both? I mean, you have a wonderful family and
Yeah.
you have to do a lot. Tell us, is there a secret recipe that we use to make sure that we're not drifting away and at the same time we're balancing the other things that are around us? And again, balance is relative.
Yeah, yeah. Balance is relative, and I believe one of the best books I ever read on that is a book called Off Balance. And, even inside of that book, what it talks about is, being clear on what it is that you want. And then there's going to be seasons where you're all in here, all in there. But I think really, for me, if I had to boil it down to a secret of how I keep things somewhat in balance, is that, it was simply making a choice up front to prioritize what I was going to do and not do up front. Made this decision years ago. And for me, that was, hey, I want to build a business around my family, not my family around the business. And so often I turn down opportunities where I can go speak, where I can get paid to do it, where I can go and coach because there might be a little league baseball game, or there might be a track meet, or there might be a debate meet that I'm going choosing ahead of time that, hey, look, that is what's of value to me right now, not the money or not the opportunity at the time. Now, it doesn't happen every single time where I turn that down, but I mean, Erica, you've been trying to get me to Jamaica for 4 years now, and I'm finally coming.
Coming, it's coming. I am so excited about this. It's 4 years now. So yeah, we're gonna make that happen. And I can't wait for that, guys. From Drift to Drive, it's coming out. This is gonna change your life, I promise you. And it's already changing mine. I need you to lean in, leaders, as you begin to listen to this podcast and begin to understand what it means, redefining what complacency is, because believe me, Chris,
Yeah.
can you just one more time, just tell us again, just slowly this time.
Okay.
Redefining complacency, because when we think about complacency, we usually think of it as laziness.
Yeah.
We did. We did. I promise you, I did.
Right.
So thank you for the clarity.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
slowly
Yeah.
count the words for me.
Yeah. A secret place
Secret place
of satisfactory success.
of satisfactory success.
Mm.
Good.
I love it.
I'm gonna put that. We're gonna get that on every cup, every.
Right.
Listen, I need this message out.
Right.
I want you to write it down so that each time you see yourself getting into this comfortable place, you're going to come back to this podcast. You're going to watch it. You're going to rewatch it so that you never, ever drift off. Chris, one action step that you want people to take from today so that they can stop drifting. Just one. Just take this one action. Do this little. Just do this one action.
Yeah, it would be it really take that time, like Erica said, to take some time to reflect and really examine, all areas of your life and ask yourself the question, where am I drifting? Where have I not grown in an area that I consider myself good? Where could I do more to bridge the gap between my good and my potential? And that's the gap that we're trying to fill. That's your greatness, is the gap between your good and your potential. Let's examine it today and let's go to work on it.
Goodness. We get to do this every day. I appreciate you so much. I love you. Thank you so much for everything that you do for us at the Maxwell Leadership. Thank you for everything that you do for the world. Thank you for using your giftedness and not drifting, but being intentional about getting this book out, your message out. And I can't wait. I am here to come alongside you to make sure that we help some people stop drifting. And I thank you so much for everything you've done. I appreciate you. Thank you. Again, the book, Drift to Drive. Thank you so much. Our guest was Chris Robinson, Executive Vice President of Maxwell Leadership. And of course, author from Drift to Drive. I'm going to put details of how you can get the book. Pre-order it, guys. Make sure that you connect with me. Chris Robinson, I'm going to announce this right now. You hear this first.
Yeah.
He is, anytime you put anything public, December 5th, 2025, calendars guy. He is going to be at Live to Lead in Jamaica. Mark your calendars to be with Chris Robinson. He's going to have tons and tons of books to sign and give you guys. Listen, I can't wait to be with you. I thank you. I see you in August at the IMC. And so I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here with us. Until next week, guys, we are going to have another interesting leader who's going to help you, stop drifting. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you for listening to the Leaders Live podcast with me, your host, Erica McKenzie. And remember, live to lead fearlessly.